A plan to spend $6.4 billion transforming Wellington's transport network has been unveiled, despite Treasury warnings that too little is known about the costs. After decades of underinvestment and growing congestion, councils and the government are describing it as a game changer for the capital, unlocking economic growth and the way people get around. It's expected to shift people out of cars and onto bikes and their feet, and a yet-to-be determined rapid transit system such as light rail. Michael Crop reports.
It's being touted as a once-in-a-generation opportunity. The Transport Minister Phil Twyford says without a massive overhaul, Wellington risks grinding to a halt.
Decades of inaction on transport have left this city with a transport system that is unfit for a modern city.
This so-called indicative package, put together by the city and regional councils and central government, is supposed to change the way people get around the capital.
Our aim is for this package to provide people with genuine congestion-free alternatives so they can leave the car at home, free up the roads for everybody else, and create a urban environment that is pedestrian and cyclist-friendly. We want that to happen as soon as possible.
What that actually looks like remains vague. There'll be an extra tunnel through Mount Victoria, as well as urgent walking and cycling upgrades, faster bus services and improvements at the Basin Reserve. But the $2.2 billion mass transit system, which could be light rail, trackless trams or bus rapid transit, and the exact route it will take, are all yet to be decided.
Now, what the rapid transit looks like, whether it's light rail or some other mode, will be determined by the business case process.
The Minister expects it will be a few years before construction begins on the route and several more till it's up and running. Inner city speed limits will also be lowered to 30 kilometres an hour. Regional Council Chair Chris Laidlaw says people will need to adapt to the changes.
Achieving the overall aims is going to require behaviour change, and you'll hear that expression a lot as we develop this. There will be trade-offs, there will be disruptions and adjustments to old habits. And that's the price we pay for future-proofing. There will be impacts on parking in this city.
Some earlier proposals didn't make the final cut. An extra terrace tunnel, gone. Putting State Highway 1 underground through the central city, that's gone too. But there will be a second tunnel through Mount Victoria, with construction to begin halfway through the 20-year period covered by the plan. Wellington City Councillor Iona Panic says she'll fight it.
I will continue to oppose vigorously, but I'm very heartened to hear from the Minister today that mass transit is being prioritised over that.
This package comes out of years of consultation following the failed Basin Reserve flyover. It's expected to cost $6.4 billion, with the region's councils stumping up 40%. It's not clear how the councils will afford their share of the project, as there is a limit to how much they are allowed to borrow. They could set up a separate company to manage and finance the project so the debt won't show up on their books and strain their financial limits, for example through a special purpose vehicle. Wellington Mayor Justin Lester says they're considering levies and targeted rates for properties along the mass transit route, and an extra 1 to 1.3% general rates increase each year for 12 years.
We're seeking to create a new public transport spine on the corridor. We're expecting a lot of development, potentially in excess of 23,000 new dwellings along that spine over time. And so therefore we'll benchmark the values, and if there is an increase beyond current values as a result of this work, we'll seek to take a proportion of that value benefit, and we'll say that will contribute to our transport project.
However, a Cabinet paper shows Treasury did not support Cabinet endorsing the package. Officials warned that going public before the costs and benefits of the package were understood would raise expectations. They were also worried the long-term funding of rapid transit through a 50-year loan has not been tested. But the Minister says Wellington has waited long enough, and officials have done a lot of number crunching, and he'll report back to Cabinet with a long-term financing proposal in due course. Councils will need to consult and sign off on the expenditure. In Wellington for Checkpoint, Michael Crop.